Hi everybody, I'm Natasha from Russia. You guys like my new hat? I made it and it's a pussy hat. It's to show our support for women's rights. I love my hat, but you know what? Recently I'm really worried because I'm just not sure how much longer we can openly wear these hats, because America is starting to look a lot like my home country. And you know, is there a whole lot of free speech in Russia? Nope. After the Soviet Union collapsed in the early 1990s, Russia became a democracy. So how do you think people felt after many decades of authoritarian rule? People were they excited? They were super excited. Finally, there was freedom of the media, there was freedom of speech. Journalists were not afraid. They could just look for the truth the best they could, report it, put it on TV, whatever. Just regular other people also were not afraid to say their opinions or have demonstrations or protests or whatnot. And most of the people were pretty happy about that change. But you know what happened? After a few years, Putin got elected. He came to power, and how did he feel about the media? How did he feel about some of the things they published and said? Some of the stories that did not look so good, that he was not so comfortable with some of the truths they published. He was not very happy. I'm gonna tell you, he started criticizing the media, and then later he got some journalists killed. And does that look like freedom of the media to you? Nope. That was not so good. And after he got through with the media, he moved on to all sorts of just other people. Like, one example is Pussy Riot. Have you guys heard of Pussy Riot? They were just a group of regular women from Moscow who just staged random public protests against Putin. And you know what? They had to wear balaclavas like these to hide their faces and their identities so they don't get caught for speaking out against Putin. So there you have it. And you know what? They were right to worry, because in 2012, the government found out who a few of them were, and they got arrested. They got arrested. A few of these women got arrested and put in jail. They were in prison for 2 years for speaking out, for doing a protest against Putin. How about that? So, in Russia under Putin, first the free media went out the window, and then free speech. And now, like I said, I'm very worried about America because it's starting to remind me of Russia. Trump doesn't like the media. He's attacking the media. Anytime some story he doesn't like boom, they lied. And once, I couldn't believe my eyes. On TV, a reporter asked Trump a question, and he said, you know, Donald Trump, how do you feel about, he brought up the question of journalists getting killed in Russia. And what, do you think Trump went oh, that's terrible, I hate that. He said nothing of the sort. No, he did not speak out against that. And so the media, we're not so sure about the media. What about our freedom of speech? How much longer can we openly say what we want? How much longer can we wear our pussy hats out in the open? It's just, I'm not so sure it's looking good for us, because Trump is not just after the media who he doesn't like. Anytime any other person upsets him, boom, he's criticizing them. Have you seen Twitter? On Twitter, it's like a full-blown war of gross, awful words from Trump. It's disgusting, I think. It's gross. And you know, Trump criticizes all sorts of people. You know one person he doesn't criticize? You know one person he admires? It's Putin. He thinks that Putin is a strong leader with respect of his people. So yeah, you guys, I am really worried. The way things are looking, we might lose our freedom of speech. So let's fight. Let's fight for the freedom of the media. Let's work to make sure journalists can be safe and can always look for the truth the best they can and publish it, even if it's uncomfortable for the government or for somebody else. And if any time Donald Trump or any other politician speaks out against the media just for doing their job, we need to call them out. We need to work hard to make sure that we can continue to say what we think and to be able to wear any kind of hat we want, so that we can protest wearing pussy hats and we don't have to wear hats like this. Thanks for watching this video, my friends. I'm Natasha from Russia. I hope you check out and learn more on our website, intentionalinsights.org, and share this video with your friends. Goodbye.